Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of, this is the 7th episode, actually, of the Warren County Info Show. Today we're going to be talking to James Williams III, who has a movie studio in the area, and it's called Twighlight, and I will let him talk about all of his stuff going on. Hey, James.
Hey, Tammy. It's good to see you. I see we're going live here already.
Yeah. Go ahead and have a seat and let's introduce yourself and
Absolutely.
get comfortable. And
Well, my name is James Williams III, and I am a filmmaker. Come to Warrenton here, many years ago, about 3 years ago, once I retired from the military. So we're stationed here at Fort Gordon, now Fort Eisenhower, and we've just decided that Georgia is a place that a lot of filmmakers are coming to, and it seemed like Warrenton was a really quaint place for us to settle up and actually invest in the Georgia film market here.
yeah, we've been told a lot that we're the back lot. We're a perfect back lot. That's every time I take somebody on location scouting, this is the perfect back lot.
Oh, absolutely. It's like Main Street is just, Mayberry or, some of those iconic cities. And, it wouldn't take too much to, for a film team come here and say, hey, can we dress up the faces of your buildings to look like X, Y, and Z? And, a lot of times it's like, we'll say, yeah. And if we like it, maybe we'll keep it.
Now, we walked into this building, which, by the way, is on Main Street, in case you guys didn't notice. This is another one of those buildings that everybody's curious because they think nothing's in here. As you can see, this building is occupied. Okay? Now, James, could you tell us a little bit about what goes on in this building?
All right, so this building is building 480, and we call this stage 4. So in this stage, we currently have a music conductor named Paisley. George Gordon is his real name, so he goes by the moniker Double G. So he's a band leader. He's also does scoring for a lot of my films, and does stage shows, kind of like more like in the 50s, the funk era types of deals. So he brings his band here to rehearse, and we've shot music videos here, we've hosted events here. So a lot of times it's like we're in town, we're working, but a lot of times it's pretty discreet. But he's set up now to where it's like this is a full music studio. You can record, you can bring a band here, you can bring an individual musician here, a rap artist, a singer, what have you, and can basically record whatever it is that you want at a studio quality. That can happen here right now.
As a matter of fact, I know that you're actually editing one of his music videos, aren't you?
Yeah. Actually, when we shot it here, it's like actually I had it over across the street and wanted to get it, have it done and up for you guys to see today. However, some other priorities came through, so business calls, and it's kind of good. It's like I'm getting more business now. The time is coming in, but the individual products that you put time, it takes a lot of time and effort to get them done. Mm-hmm. So this is several months in the making. However, it's like if I wasn't doing this for one of the people that's internal project, we had a budget for it, we would have had it done within a matter of weeks. However, since it's one person at a time, we're doing it, you got to do it by hook or crook.
Okay. And so you said this is Studio 4.
Yep, stage 4.
Stage 4. Okay, so that means there's other stages.
Yep, across the street and what's known as the Enterprise Building, I have 3 street. Currently have 2 stages constructed, and we're going to be working on the 3rd stage in short order. Actually, no, the 3rd stage is actually, which used to be a private dining area, is a small stage. We have like a big area that used to be a pizza restaurant. That's a big open area. That's a stage that's, I believe it's something like 2,000 or 3,000 square foot, wide open. And then we have a green screen stage that's 25 foot by 30 foot green screen area, and a 50 foot by 30 foot stage. So there are 3 stages over there. This is stage 4, as well as additional suites.
Okay, cool. So what you're telling me is that it's the Enterprise Building, And other than Mike having his framing business over there and his printing, there's also all that going on over there.
Yeah, absolutely. And unfortunately, it's kind of hard to get labor here. So we've been at it. We went through and purchased the property from Mike and everyone last November, as when we closed, and so we've been working steadily to get each area up to our standard. Business has come, so we've had to shift focus here and there, and again, as labor is a little bit difficult. The process over there is a bit slower getting up and going fully like we are here in the stage 4.
Now, I have seen you guys working on that green screen. That green screen is huge. I mean, I don't think it's a wraparound green screen. It's not it's 3 walls.
Yeah, absolutely. The idea is that, say if you want to be in a penthouse in New York City on the 32nd floor, and you want a panoramic view of what's up there. So what we do is we go in, we have a stage builder come in and build and frame out the inside of an apartment, and all the windows would just be transparent, and you would just see the green screen back on 3 areas. So when you point a camera at any area, we can just, whatever looks green in the background, we can now transpose backplates or film that we shot in New York City from a similar place, and then just put that behind them, superimposed behind them.
Okay. Yeah, because I was joking. I said you could drive a limo into this place.
Absolutely, you can. You can drive a limo into the place, and we can film you in the limo doing all kinds of crazy stuff. I mean, we can film you, flying through outer space if you want. Like I said, he's a funkadelic, guitar player. So we can do a lot of different crazy stuff, or we can just simply have you rolling down the street.
That's pretty cool. So yes, a lot of these buildings that people think are abandoned or not being used are actually being used. They have a use. They are being used. So they're not going to fall down on anybody. They are.
And granted, they could be used more. And,
yes.
I'm trying to, I'm working other places to get back, so the ones that at least I'm occupying in the city, we can actually utilize the city a bit more as well.
Yeah. Okay. Now, in your opinion, because with all these strikes and all of that kind of stuff going on, and I've just as late as yesterday, I was talking to somebody who's been laid off work, who hasn't worked in 2 years because of these strikes in the film industry. But the film industry is changing. There's no doubt about it. What's your opinion about that?
All right, so I gotta before I can really give my opinion about it, I've got to give you, I've got to educate our audience just a little bit on what's been happening in that industry. We're all affected by it, but we don't necessarily see it right away. So let's start. If we just start from right now and go backwards to a point. Let's start now. We got rain in California, Hollywood. That is the hub of international filmmaking. Hollywood is that. That is where the deals are made. It used to be where all the films were made, and TV still kind of made there, but that's where the deals are made. All the legacies, all the big studios, all of your big stars, they're all Los Angeles. Right now it's raining. It only rains in Los Angeles probably 2 or 3 times a year. Good thing. Bad thing if you just had a whole bunch of fires burn down a whole bunch of houses. Now, a lot of people think that, they're just rich people's houses. Yes, a lot of rich people's houses got destroyed. And some of those people I met for the first time just recently at the Rose Bowl, and it's like, hey, I've seen you around, I've seen you do X, Y, and Z, and as soon as you got something, let me read it. I'm like, oh wow, I'm not going to name names, but this person has recognized me, and this is a Hollywood producer that's done so many different things. 3 weeks later, his house burns down. So I'm not going to call that man up and be like, hey, I got a script for you to read now, But then he's in the upper tier of the stuff, but he still lost everything, and now it's raining on all of his stuff, and it's just in a mudslide going into the river. So he's one of the fortunate ones. Now your cast and your crew, your people that are coming up. Like when I first started out, I've got my stories. I've slept on my fair share of couches out in Los Angeles. I mean, thank you to my friends, Brendan, Lou, Soren, for letting me sleep on your couch when I need to come to town. Right? That's your typical Hollywood person trying to make it the first 2 years out there. Expect to sleep on the couch, expect to be a waiter, expect to do whatever it is you need to do to get into the industry. So now, they may have had their roommates, they may have had apartments, they may have homes, they may have worked their way up. That's all gone now. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So now they're looking for places to live. What was happening before that? We had 2 strikes. We had a writer strike and we had an actor strike. So now your regular people and even your Hollywood people, your elites, for 2 years, they're scrounging for work. They've got bills to pay. All right? This has not been, the last 3 years have not been easy because of those strikes. All right? Studios, want to invest in AI. They're not making money. Why are they not making money? Okay, what happened before those 2 strikes? We had COVID. Nobody was going to theaters. Everyone stopped going to theaters. We were already watching Netflix and doing a whole bunch of streaming anyway. But then COVID hit. All production stopped. All right? So now you have this vacuum of we just need content anywhere. Anything that was done, whether it was good or not, made it to air. So right now, you've got a whole bunch of stuff out there on the streaming services that is just junk. Right? People have gotten used to not going to the theaters, right?
Mm-hmm.
They've gotten used to watching content on this
Mm-hmm.
and streaming. So now your audience has changed. Right? The way that we consume film and media has changed. Hollywood's trying to figure it out. Hollywood has only known big budget films and we need to make a lot of money.
Yeah, they're known for the silver screen. Yeah.
So they were making money. China, you can put seats, and they got theaters, booming economy. So you started seeing a whole bunch of Marvel films, a whole bunch of superhero films that were neutral, that weren't offensive to foreign markets, because that's how the studios were making the money. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So they're looking at the local market like, well, we don't need you, because people no longer go to theaters. Everyone's streaming stuff now. No one's buying DVDs. I can't sell them to you anymore. So I got to make money somehow, and I need that big money. So they're no longer doing, after strikes, what settled out was they're saying we're going to do, before, like in the 90s, they were doing 40, 45 films a year. Independent films, big films, what have you. And then the market, no DVDs, less people going to theaters, what have you, to the point now where it's like, okay, only way for us to make money is to spend $200 million on Transformers 5000, so that way the rest of the world can consume this and we can make $1 billion off of it. That's starting to fail. Hollywood is trying to figure itself out. It's losing all of its workers now because they have no places to live. Places, markets like Georgia here, like Texas, like North Carolina, like New York, like Nashville. These other little smaller production hubs outside of Hollywood has been where the films are being made for the last 5, 10, 15 years, ever since Hurricane Katrina.
Mm-hmm.
And tax incentives started off down in Louisiana. Georgia got on board with that and attracted a lot of work, which is why I'm here now.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say the industry is in flux. Hollywood, the big industry, is trying to figure itself out and how it can continue to make money. The independent industry has been out there trying to hustle and bustle, going around the United States, going international, to try and find work anywhere, to tell stories anywhere. We've gotten a lot of poor quality stuff, but in that time, now we have a lot of talent coming out of Hollywood, but they're used to doing things the Hollywood way versus independent people and artistic people doing things their way, and there's going to be a clash. But one thing's for certain, cream's going to rise to the crop in this clash.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, being in Georgia is a really good place to be in the mix of a lot of this stuff that's going on with the industry.
Okay.
Fortunate and unfortunate.
Yeah. That just, I mean, I've only been in 9 years, and I mean, it's just changed. It's just you could see it, you could feel it. Yeah.
You can make money off of YouTube. I was
playing
a TV show.
Facebook.
I was playing a TV show, Becoming a Wine Snob, that do 30-minute episodes. Now it's like it's going to live well on the internet because that's how people consume the media.
Yeah. So, okay. So you were saying there's writers and there's that are now out of jobs and all that kind of stuff. you've got a really good education in the film industry, because that's where you went to after, or during, your military. You also were going to school for, what was it, for directing, or was it for, what was it, film production?
Well, first I got to give props to my mom, Annie Williams Watkins, who at the age of 53 showed her family, 10 kids, showed her family that at 53 you can go back to school, and got her high school education at 53. Went on to college. We were in the same college, University of Maryland, Eastern Shore, together. Cross campus, not seeing different programs, but going on. Father died, she goes on and gets her master's degree at 63. So her being an example for me has shown me that no matter what stage I'm in my life, education is important. So I'm one of those obsessive compulsive people. My education, yes, Chapman University, basically #4 film school in the world. I'm going to brag a little bit because John Badham, is my mentor, for a year and a half, and I attribute a lot of my directing success and within my films to his mentorship. There are several others as well. Bill Dill in cinematography. I was in the cinematography program there as well. These are world-renowned, filmmakers and educators. And because of my military career, I got the opportunity to use my benefits to go to that school and be educated by some of Hollywood's elite. Prior to that, 21 years in the military, you see some stuff. I was in South Korea, passionate filmmaker. That's when DSLRs came out and we started getting new technology. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go out and make my film. So I made a feature film in South Korea on weekends with a whole bunch of, international expats and, a bunch of people, and it was just fun, During that time, I also earned a master's degree in screenwriting from National University. I was traveling back and forth to Los Angeles and South Korea and doing my classes, kind of like my lunchtime. Prior to that, Howard University, Howard University. I went to their radio, television, and film program, so I got to study, under, the Kathy Hughes program and everything in Washington, D.C., which is close to where I grew up. Prior to that, I did combat camera and visual information in the Army, so I got my specialized training to be an operator. 21 years of putting cameras in people's faces. I've filmed presidents from George Bush. I've hosted presidents such as Obama in South Korea. So I've got the opportunities to actually be in the room with these people, because of the nature of what I do. And quite honestly, I think what I'm going to pull up some of my photography work. I'm going to get back over here in the studios. I'm going to have some of my photojournalism stuff. So when you come into the scene, you'll see some of my historic stuff that I've done over the years.
That would be fun. Yeah, that actually would be kind of. I know you were talking about doing like a photography wall or whatever, but I didn't know all it entailed. That's really neat. Goals. Let's talk about goals.
All right. Well, 2025, we got some new goals. We're in the middle of actually executing some of them right now. So, like I said, the industry, I've explained that the industry is in flux. I've been working a job for the government out in California, while at the same time to, operating the business, continuing writing, and, maybe hosting a few people sleeping on my couch now, since I have that, I have the means to do that, because you got to give back. So I'm out there right now working because I got to pay the bills. So I purchased the property here, I've been to fund the construction and everything that's going on here. I've had to continue working the job until we get the industry going. However, it seems like the hard work has been paying off. I'm very close to a matter of weeks having a plan of going down to Jamaica and making my first feature film after graduating from Chapman University. So this is kind of like, hey, it's not a big budget film, something around $250,000. But as I said, there's a lot of content that's been put out there that's not good. And as I said earlier, the good products will rise. I wrote a script just passionately. A friend of mine came to town, brought me to Warrren last year. His name's Marcus from Jamaica. He got into town and went over to the library and started writing. And by the time that he left here, hit Warrren and here, he was halfway done writing a novel called Rostam that is out right now.
Mhm.
So he inspired me to start writing the story that I had. That inspired me when I was in Trinidad and Tobago, and so I went and just wrote it, and it got into a couple film festivals almost immediately. It got into like the hands of some of Jamaica's biggest actors. They read it within a day, and then lo and behold, now I have a budget. So um, the hard work, the experience, is what's basically paying off. And so for goals for me, my first goal is to get Squatta, my next feature film, done and across the board, and that will actually entail about 3 days of filming here in Warrington.
Okay, but it's primarily filmed in Jamaica.
Yes,
Okay.
it'll be primary. Right now, we're looking at 3 weeks. 2 weeks in Jamaica, a week in the United States, 3 days here in Warrington. There's some scenes dealing with some courtrooms, and we have some pretty colorful characters here in town that I'd like to highlight as well. Warrington and Georgia, we just have our own little thing. The Southern twang comes out and just adds a different flavor to already heavy accents from Jamaica, and then you've got other accents up north and northeastern accents. So it's like it's just one little distinctive thing about our little town that's going to stick out in this film.
Okay, so that's part of how you're bringing the industry into Warren County. Is there anything else that you're looking at as far as to
Yeah,
help
absolutely.
the county, promote the county?
Absolutely. Through our board, our downtown board, and our chamber, it's like whenever we have an opportunity to assist the community with with the location or something like that. We're always just so as long as I can pay my bills and no one's getting hurt, we're okay. But Warrington and Georgia has a lot of historic value. Another thing that's attracted me here is that we can pretty much build anything. We have the land. It's just so as long as we have people motivated. Me being a history buff, military officer, it's like I did a lot of studying when I was out here at Fort Gordon, down in Fort Benning, about Sherman's March, about Civil War, sorry.
I think we should do a story actually on the turtle.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's because Dr. Bush was here, and his real name was David Bushnell, and I just think it's a really neat story, and it is coming up on the 250th anniversary of the launching of the turtle.
Absolutely.
We're not going to say it was a success. We're just going to say it was a launch. And you said you were in Korea. Did you get a chance to go to the museum, the Mariners Museum or whatever over there? Because I know they've got a model of the turtle over there.
I have not gone to the Mariners Museum, and I'm not going to lie, it's like I had no clue about the turtle until I came to town and started learning about it here. So as far as the turtle is one of the many fascinating things that I've come to discover here. And again, in context with all the other knowledge that I have of the wars that have gone through, whether it be Civil War or whether it be the Revolutionary War, that's what inspires me about being here in Georgia, is because I know I can go out and recreate it. All right, that's what inspires me about Warrington. Is the screenplay that I wrote, back in 2015, that went into the Oscars, was considered. I'd say you're almost there, and it's like that was my Sherman's March story about freed slaves and all the conscriptions from all the plantations owner down here that were children as well as old men, because all the able-bodied men were up north. So that's a story that's already written, and I'm passionate about bringing it to life down here. But I know that's going to require some money. So when you talk about 2, 3, and 5 year goals, I have to get these smaller films done first. And then as the turtle comes online, as I get more research about what's going on, I can shape that story and that narrative within history as the more I get to know about it as well, which is another reason why I have to come back here and move back here. So that I can be more involved, hands-on with this stuff. But then there's also potential. We want to build a farmer's market in a style of a bit, frontierish, so it looks a little bit, so we can use it as a film set, but as well as a nice place for people to come out and enjoy the area. So we have some plans, to help build Warrington and to partner with Warrington And quite honestly, one day you said that this place looks like a back lot down the street. One day it's my goal to look up at the water towers and see Warrren Studios on the tower. And just have the whole town just be a part of it,
Yeah, oh, that'd be cool. Anyway, well, I think that we've pretty much touched on everything that we were talking about earlier about making sure we covered. Is there anything, well, somebody's throwing a birthday bash. He's over at Meadow Springs.
Yeah.
And it's over there on, well, it's Vicky Grady's place. She's doing the pig jam, and but it's also going to be James's birthday party.
Yep, Mad Pig Jam. That's something that we collaborated with Vicky on the start about a year and a half ago, because she's has this stage and this presence about her and music, and it's like just a wonderful collaborator. So if you're free, anyone's welcome to come out. Just bring your own bottle, or bring your own cooler, or bring whatever you want to bring. And we got the barn, a stage in the barn. There's going to be some food served. There's going to be heat. We've got some people coming in from out of town to come in and get on the stage and sing a song or play the song. If you play an instrument, you're very welcome to come out and jam with us. That's 1083 Ranger Road. I guess like 6-7 p.m. on Saturday.
Awesome. Well, happy birthday, James. And I think that's going to wrap us up for that. I'm going to go real quick and let James go do his thing. And I'm going to let you guys know about what's coming up. All right. What we've got going on here is on, let's see, February 20th. You can see a little bit there. But February 20th at 2 p.m., which is today, is the GIC meeting in building 504 Main Street. March 4th is the first Tuesday of the month, so you got your city council meeting at 6 p.m. at the Community Services Building. March 11th is the county commissioners at 4 p.m. Community Service Building. The March 11th is also the Board of Education, which is at 5 p.m. over at the Career Academy on Gibson Highway. And then Thursday the 13th is the Events of Warren County. That's at 6 p.m. at 504 Main Street. And that's to talk about the upcoming events for this year and to start really putting together the Turtle Fest for the 250th anniversary. And everybody's welcome to come to every one of these things or any one that they choose. And maybe we'll see you out there at the Mad Pig.